Friends, today I want to share with you a compelling story about Winston Churchill, one of the most influential leaders of the 20th century. Now, one day Churchill needed to get to the BBC headquarters for an interview. He stopped a taxi and upon arriving at his destination asked the driver to wait for about 40 minutes. The driver, unaware of his passenger's identity, declined, explaining that he had to go home to listen to Winston Churchill's speech on the radio. Churchill, both amused and impressed by the driver's dedication, handed him a £10 note, a very significant sum back then, still without revealing who he was. The driver, upon seeing the money, immediately changed his tune, exclaiming, "I'll wait for hours until you come back, sir," and held to that Churchill. This story is more than just an amusing anecdote. It carries a very powerful lesson for all of us, especially young professionals striving to make their mark in the world. Initially, the driver's respect for Churchill's words was his guiding principle. However, when tempted by money, his priorities shifted in an instant. This moment of change is something many of us will face throughout our careers. As we step into the workforce, we are driven by our values, our desire to contribute, and our aspirations to make a difference. But the allure of financial gain can be strong, tempting us to compromise our core values and strengths. Reflect on the words of Albert Einstein, who wisely noted, "Try not to become a person of success, but rather try to become a person of value." Success built on a foundation of a compromised values is hollow and fleeting. It's your commitment to your principles that will sustain you in the long run. Think about the long-term impact of your choices. Will you look back with pride knowing you stood by your principles, or will you have regrets realizing that you lost sight of what truly mattered for temporary gains? Your character is defined not by what you say you value, but rather by the decisions you make when faced with tough choices. Let this story of Churchill and the taxi driver remind you to hold fast to your values even when the temptation is strong. In the end, it's your integrity, your commitment to your principles that will lead you to a very fulfilling and a meaningful career.